person watching.
Hi, I'm going to wait a few minutes until people can get on and get with the program with us. Then I'm going to start talking a little bit. I have a few subjects I want to cover about chickens, and then I'll take some questions. I'll take questions through Super Chat, and then I'll answer those for people if they have any chicken questions. Are you going to go put Lincoln in the pen in the meantime?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll just give it just a few minutes. Just a few, so we have enough people.
Ask if they can hear me good. So can you hear me good?
I'm wondering if everybody can hear me good. I know last 2 times I did this, people said they couldn't hear me. So this time I have a mic. We'll see if it works good, if it improves the sound. I don't know.
Tap the microphone to see if the audio is coming through that microphone.
Can you hear that? I'm tapping the mic. It might sound awful if they can hear that. Scott, I'm not going to be comfortable unless you run and put Lincoln in the pen. I saw him go down the driveway. It's like I don't want my dog to escape. He's still a puppy. We don't want him causing any trouble while I'm doing this. I'll be like worried because I can see out my windows and it's going to be like, oh, where is he? So today I'm going to talk about chickens because chicken seems to be a very popular subject, and I do love my chickens. I've had chickens for over a decade, just years and years and years and years, and I never get tired of them. They're so cute, and they come in such a good variety of colors, and when you get to know them, they have such a cute personality. I don't know, you definitely get attached to it. The thing about chickens is they don't live too awfully long, so you get one rooster and then maybe some hens and breed some, keep yourself without buying chickens. That's what I'm going to do this year is I don't want to buy any chickens. I want to just have my rooster and hens make their own babies. Just for one reason, it's just so cute to watch little chickens when they're born and grow up and everything. Another reason for that is the babies get along with everybody else because the mother protects those babies so they can just grow up in the flock and there's never any issues. If you have an established flock and then you go buy some chickens and you want to try to add them to the flock, it can work, you know, without them killing each other. But I find they never really completely blend perfect. They'll still be like 2 groups. It'll be like the old hens and then it'll be like the newer chickens, and they'll get in there and they'll all survive, but they're not really like one big group, it seems to me. The older hens will always be the boss. They're the queens of the coop if you do it that way. But if you have a rooster and they have their own babies, the babies will just grow right up in the flock and fit right in and come, you know, it's one big family. So it works really well that way. Plus, I just want to, you know, breed my own for the fact that you do save money and you get the joy of watching the little chickens. And there's nothing cuter than that mama hen taking care of her little bunch of babies. It's just the most adorable thing in the world. They're such good mothers and it's just so cute. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. It's just so adorable and so cute, and it's better than watching TV. You can just sit in the yard and watch the chickens. Plus you get the good eggs too, so that's always a bonus. Okay, so that leads me to one topic I did want to talk about, and several people, well, more than several over the years, write in. And what they want to do is they have the mother hatch out the little chickens in the coop, and then for whatever reason, they want to take the babies away. They think they're going to get hurt in the coop, or the mother isn't going to be able to take care of them. I don't know what they're thinking. But they think it's a good idea to take the babies away from the mother. Well, really, they're asking me if that's what they should do. And the answer is absolutely not. The mother will take care of her babies. The other chickens won't bother the babies because she like, if you ever spend any time around them, she'll like has a little language with them, and she'll talk to them and cluck, and they'll run under her wings if there's any danger. She actually teaches them a lot. They need their mother. And if you want good chickens, those are the best kind that the mother has raised. The little chickens that are raised with the mother, those end up being the best chickens. Those end up being broody chickens. A lot of people say, how do I make my chickens broody? Well, let the mother raise it, because then it's just in them and they learn that. When you buy chickens and they're just from a hatchery, they never see a mother. They're hatched in a machine, an incubator, and sent off to their new people. So, you know, if you just let the mother raise the chickens, they just get a lot of benefits from that. So never ever take the babies away from the mother. It's going to be fine. She'll protect them, she'll feed them, she'll show them what to eat, how to eat. She just teaches them everything. And you'll have really healthy baby chickens if you leave them with the mother. The key to having healthy chickens is don't overcrowd your coop. I never have any health issues with my chickens. A lot of people have a lot of health issues, and they, like, I'm the chicken doctor, I guess. They'll ask me a million questions about all these. And it's so funny because I'm like, I never have those problems. All these years I've had chickens, I don't really have room here to build a really big coop. And I don't put that many chickens in the coop, so they have plenty of room. So they're not like living in their poop, doesn't build up, and you know, there's flies, and then just disease starts in there. So that's the key. If you want to have problem-free chickens, have as big a coop as you can fit on your property, and then don't overcrowd it. Make it so you look in there and you're almost like, looks kind of empty. You'll have good luck with your chickens, which it's not really luck. You'll just, you know, you'll do good with your chickens because they won't get any sickness or disease or anything. And plus, they'll be less stressed out because they have more living room. So the less stressed they are, the healthier they are, and the more eggs you'll get. So that's very important too. Just make sure. So like, if you do have a rooster and you do have a chicken hen and you want to breed babies, what you can do is when she starts sitting on the eggs and you don't have that big of a coop, you might be like, yikes, you know, she's sitting on 12 eggs. It's like, I don't have room for 12 chickens. You can just take some of those eggs away and let her hatch 3 chickens or 2 chickens. You know, you can just take some of those eggs away and just leave her as many as you can handle in your coop. Or you might have friends that you can give them to, or you might put an ad in the paper and sell the extra ones too. Whichever way you want to do it. So really leave the babies with the mother and make sure you have plenty of room in your coop. That's what I want to say. So did you want to ask me a couple questions, Scott? Chicken questions that are coming in, and also if anybody wants to ask me a question on Super Chat, I'll answer it. But we have some prior questions.
We'll answer an email question.
Okay. I'm going to answer. I'm sure they can hear you. They always say they can hear you. Scott's looking up an email question. We're going to answer an email question. Chicken question. Chickens. Tick, 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 tick. That's what we're talking about today.
Caitlin asks, why does my chicken only lay 2 eggs a day?
I don't think our chicken lays 2 eggs a day. Chickens lay 1 egg a day. That's what they do. I think some commercial chickens, they might try to give them steroids and to get them to lay 2 eggs a day. That's not natural. Chickens lay 1 egg a day, and some chickens don't even lay every single solitary day. They might skip 1 or 2 days a week. So, you know, you'll get 5 eggs from that hen per week. And maybe when they're right in their prime, you might get 7 eggs, in a week, but normally chickens don't lay an egg every single solitary day. So I don't know, she's mistaken maybe, or she got rescued, a commercial hen. I don't know about that. Or maybe that's a freak hen. I don't know, but that's not normal. It does lay 2 a day. 1.
Does the chicken know which eggs are fertilized? And if so, how can I tell?
No. They can't tell and they don't know. Chickens don't know. All they do is this is how it works. I'm going to explain how it works. A chicken will, whether it has a rooster or not, it lays eggs. So no matter what. So it's either, without a rooster, they're not fertile. With a rooster, if they're mating, they could be fertile eggs. But what happens is they don't lay 1 egg in the nest and then start sitting on that if it's fertile to hatch it. What they do is they'll lay 1 chicken in the nest every day. It'll get off that nest and they'll just live their normal life, and the next day they'll lay another egg, and they'll just keep doing that day after day after day until there's a pile of eggs in the nest. Once there's a pile of eggs in the nest, and she'll determine that number, and who knows how she does that, but once there's a pile of eggs in the nest, she'll start to sit on them. That way, they all incubate at the same rate. And when they hatch, they all hatch within like 2 to 3 days of each other. If she started sitting on that very first one and incubating that, there could be a span of, 7 days or so in the way they're born, 7 to 12 days in the way they hatch out. That's not how it works. The reason they don't sit on them until they get a pile, the important part is when they all hatch out, she'll stay in the nest for like up to, I usually see 2 or 3 days while they're hatching. Then she takes whichever are hatched, and if there's eggs in there that haven't hatched yet, she goes for the live ones and takes care of those. And then she'll start bringing them out to pick around and feed them, and because they have to get a drink after 3 days. They need a drink of water. So she doesn't wait too long. So that's why they all have to hatch approximately at the same time. And then she'll take them out and start feeding them and stuff. And then I have seen it where she still brings all the little babies back to the bed at night if the box is low enough and they can all get in the nest. I have seen it where just, I don't know if it's good luck or whatever, nature, however it works, the ones that were left in the nest will still hatch out 1 or 2 of them. It's interesting, but they're just like late bloomers, I guess, and just they're fortunate they make it and hatch out because she keeps them warm at night. So the most important thing about them hatching out, though, if they're on the ground, is don't let any ants get near them. If there's an ant pile around them, you have to, even though you hate to use the spray, you have to spray the ant pile and kill it, because what happens is as soon as they peck a little hole in the egg, the ants will get in the hole and the chicken won't even have a chance to break out of the egg, and the ants will go in there and kill it. And those little chickens will like be crying. The ants are biting them and they're not even out of the egg and they're like peeping and peeping. It's really sad and awful. So I make sure I spray kill ant piles anywhere near the nest. No ants. So a hen, she doesn't know if the eggs are fertile or not fertile. That's why if you don't have a rooster, she'll still sit on a pile of eggs once it gets to them. You just have to go get your eggs. You'd be like, no, you're not. But the way to solve that problem is don't wait so long. Don't let a big pile gather up out there. Collect the eggs, and you'll have less trouble with that problem. So, okay, if you want to ask me a question on Super Chat, then I'll answer it for you. And then another thing I wanted to talk about is a little further is adding new chickens to the coop. Some people will have an established coop, and then what they'll do is they'll just want more. They just love the chickens. They're having so much fun with them, and they'll want a few more. so some people will go buy adult chickens and think, well, there are adult chickens in my coop and I bought adult chickens and I'll just, put them in the coop and they should be good. Well, there's always going to be fighting because there's a pecking order. And it's not fun to watch them fighting. You're just like, yikes, and sometimes they'll pull each other's feathers out, or they'll pick on one until it's like bleeding and not happy and healthy. And a lot of times your hens that you already had will be laying well, and then you add the new ones in there and they stop laying because the stress is going on. So it's really hard and tricky to add new chickens, adult chickens, to your already established coop. It's just really hard to do. You're almost better off just getting one rooster and letting it breed with your hens, and then raising their own little chickie babies, because the coop will just, congeal better that way. You won't have as many problems. So, all right, Scott, do you have another question for me from the email?
Hold 1 second.
1 second.
What do you do if you have a chicken that's looking sick?
What I do if I have a chicken that looks sick is I always have a little wire cage about maybe, 1.5 feet by 2 or 3 feet long. You could use like a dog crate or just a little wire crate, and then put hay in the bottom. Separate that chicken. If I have a sick chicken or somebody that's injured, I always pull it right out of the coop, and then I'll put it in that little wire cage, and I'll put, food and water in there and take care of it that way. If it's just being picked on and injured, then it can just rest. It doesn't have to be moved around by the other hens and worried. It can just lay there and rest, and it'll heal way faster. And then if it's sick, like you can just assess it better because you have it, in the cage and it's by itself, and you can just get a good look at it and watch it, and you can just try to assess what's wrong with it, and then go from there. Figure out what's going on, and then go from there. It's like, it's cold in here. All right, Scott, you have another question?
1 second. What should they do if their chicken is not laying eggs in the nest?
Yeah, because usually they want to lay eggs in the nest. So I don't know. Maybe if you fidget with the nest too much, they don't like that. So if you're in there cleaning, you think you have to clean it every day, and you're touching it and moving it, maybe that's part of the problem. Like, just leave it alone. Don't touch it. And then sometimes it depends which way the opening is facing, because they want it very private and quiet in their little nesting box. But also, they don't want to feel trapped. So here's the thing. If you have a cozy little nesting box and, it looks nice, you have hay in there for it, and you're like, oh, why wouldn't it love that? It looks perfect. Sometimes the hole is facing the wrong way, and I don't want to say a bully chicken, but a hen that's higher on the pecking order can come up to the hole, and then the one in there will feel trapped in there. So it just wants out. It's like, forget laying an egg. It's like, I got to get out of here because, boss hen's at the door, so it scares it out of here. So one way to solve that problem is to raise the nest boxes 2 feet off the ground. Have the bottom of the nest box like 2 feet off the ground. And so they'll have to hop up in there, and then nothing can walk up to the door and intimidate the chicken that's in there laying an egg. Chickens are funny. They're very dramatic. They're just so funny. So a lot of drama going on in a coop. So you do have to pay attention and see what's going on in there. But that's what I would say. Maybe raise it so it's 2 feet off the ground and it has to hop up in there. That's what I would try first. Okay, if you want to ask me a question, super chat, I'll answer it. No questions. I'm surprised though, because I do get lots of chicken questions.
An email question. You guys take a question.
Okay.
What would happen if I put a duck in with a chicken? Repeat the question.
Oh, okay. Scott says the question is, what would happen if I put a duck in with the chickens? I personally don't do that. Just because, for one thing, if you've ever had a duck, that bill on that duck is a little shovel. That thing shovels in food. And I find when I keep ducks is I don't let them have free access to the food like I do the chickens. The chickens have their chicken, some kind of chicken food in there 24/7, just to make sure they get enough to keep laying those eggs. And ducks will just eat all that. You'll just have the fattest duck ever, and you're basically wasting your money because the duck doesn't need all that. So when I have ducks, I just feed them twice a day, and then not too much, and then they can get bugs or whatever else they need. So one duck with chickens, it's like he's going to be like the odd man out. The poor thing's not going to fit in there. And sometimes the chickens can pick on a duck. It depends what kind of duck you have, even though ducks are pretty hardy. They're not really wimpy at all. So, I mean, if you had to, I mean, you could, but it is better just to have 2 ducks and let them have their own pen. That's my, you know, if you have a really, really big coop, it could work, because I also like to have a little pool for my duck, a little something for them to swim in, because they're just so cute when they float, and they like that. So that's my advice, and that's what I do. I know everybody's different. I try to go with what's successful and what makes the animals happy. I just try to watch them and try to put them in like their natural environment, even if it's miniature. But if they have everything they need to make them happy, you usually don't have any problems. Like out, if you just had them in the yard, the duck wouldn't live with the chickens really. Might follow them around a little that says, do I feed my chickens whole corn or cracked corn? I feed my chickens swallow that. Yes, they can. They might not know what it is if you've never before, but believe me, they can eat it and swallow it, no problem. Even I've had Banties that can just swallow a whole piece of corn. At first you're like, is the little one gonna swallow it? And it's like, gulp, down it goes, no problem. The reason is that the whole corn has the nutrients in it. It has the germ that has the little bit of corn oil in there and all the nutrients. And so obviously you're feeding them to give them nutrients, and that's what you want them to have, is that little bit of fat and the nutrients from the whole corn. Cracked corn is where that germ is missing. And so the rest is just starch, basically. It's just, I call it garbage. It's like gravel. It's like little tiny pieces of gravel. And yes, they will eat it, but they're just not getting the nutrients they would in the whole corn. And whole corn's really cheap. I think whole corn's like cheaper than cracked corn when you buy it. So I do the whole corn.
Okay, I think we should stop. People are saying they have a bad connection. I think the phone doesn't stream good.
Okay.
This is all still us just practicing it.
Yeah, we're still just practicing this, which is true. We don't have the perfect setup yet. Scott's got the parts coming though, so it will have better quality, good sound and everything. So we're gonna stop. Okay, we did 30 minutes instead of an hour, so that's fine. And I have a lot of work to do outside. I'm putting up some fencing.
Ask everybody if they'd like to see us live stream from outside what we're doing.
Oh.
Ask them.
Would you like to see what we're doing outside? We can live stream from outside on the homestead. On a warmer day, of course.
Right now. We'll go out right now.
Oh, no, it's not good quality.
Well, it won't be the best quality, but they'll see.
Well, let's wait till we get the good wire.
It won't reach out there ever, no matter what.
Oh.
We'll just live stream from the phone.
Oh.
Everybody's saying yes.
Oh.
So say, okay, we're gonna.
Okay.
Say we're gonna.
We're going to turn it off. We're going to go outside and live stream a little bit from outside. Show you what I'm working on. Okay, see you then. In a few. Okay, is it off? I'm not going to wear this mic out.